It's time for some spring cleaning again, which means cleaning out my travel gear. Today, I'm going to share some items that I purchased but just never really used so that you don't make the same buying mistakes that I did. Let's go. Hello and welcome. If you're new here, I'm Christy, the Gen X Gypsy, and I like to share travel tips and advice I've learned over the 40 years that I have been wandering around this world. And I think some of the best advice comes from sharing the mistakes that I've made. And I have been spending the past couple of weeks cleaning out my shed and my closets and kind of going through stuff. So today I'm going to share with you some items that I was, probably influenced to buy by other influencers and just have never really used them. But I'm also going to share what I tend to use instead of those items. So let's get started. And the first thing we're going to talk about is this little round power strip. And I don't remember who I saw that I thought that this might be a good idea to purchase. I have never, you can see it still has the little wrap thing on there because I have never used it. It is just so bulky, right? It's bigger than my hand. It's got this long cord, and I could see, like, I understand that these are probably useful on a cruise ship, although I think there might be some limitations. I don't cruise. I'm not a cruiser, so I'm not really sure what the rules are on cruises, but this is just something I have never used. So what I am using instead most of the time is one of my Epica travel adapters. And this is not a sponsored video. In fact, I have no sponsors for this video today, but I do actually use Epica adapters. This is one I talked about a couple of weeks ago. It is called the Pulse adapter, and it has multiple different outlets to plug into. So there's USB-C and USB-A outlets, plus the regular outlet here on the front of the adapter. I do use this even when I'm traveling in the United States and I don't need the adapter per se, but it actually works as such a great charging block. And there isn't really a whole lot these days that I need like a regular plug to plug things into. The block or just this adapter usually meets the needs that I have for anything that I am plugging in, especially when it comes to charging. Probably the only thing I really need the plug for is like my curling wand. So really, my hair wand tool is most likely the only thing that I really need to plug into the regular plug. Otherwise, I can use the outlets that are down here, and that works just fine. So yeah, this is something that is not necessary. The second item that I have never used, never packed with me, it's never gone on any trips. In fact, I don't even really use it here at home, are these Gal Pal garment deodorant removers. And they're just bulky and I don't know, they get the stain off okay, but there's other ways to do it without needing a certain product for that. So what I use if I need to, and it's not super often that I need to get deodorant off of something. If I can't get it off with a wet washcloth or something, I will use one of my laundry detergent sheets, which I carry with me on every trip, and I'll have them cut into little strips. And I'll just take one of those little strips and I'll rub it on the deodorant until it comes off. And that works just fine. Takes up a lot less space than this does. So not necessary. The third item is actually something that I got as a gift from a friend. So it wasn't like gifted to me from the company. It was actually given to me as a gift. And I do love it. I think it is an awesome product. It's just something that I don't actually use. I think I've taken it on one trip and I didn't even use it for its intended purpose then. I can see its usefulness for some other maybe situations, but for airline travel, for me, I have other options that I use and I just don't end up using it. And it's this Rumple stuffable pillowcase. So you can actually, where is the opening here? Oh, here it is. So there's a zipper here and it packs down into this little pouch. So you can like fold it up and it like squeezes down into this pouch that has a little carabiner on it. So super cute, doesn't take up much space. But what you can do if you are flying on an airline that won't count a pillow as another packed item. So some airlines like Southwest and a few others are now counting pillows as a bag. So if you have a personal item, a carry-on, and you have a pillow, they're gonna make you put it into either your personal item or into your carry-on bag. So you wanna be careful about that. So that's one of the reasons I don't travel with this. So what my friend does is she will pack like her beach towels and sweatshirts or other pieces of clothing in here to give herself more space in her carry-on and her personal item. And then she uses the carabiner to attach it to her personal item and then, go on to the plane and use it as your pillow for sleeping. Now, I just never used it that way. I've taken it on like girls' trips to have an extra pillow if I need an extra pillow, and I'll just stuff it with like a sweatshirt or something. So, what I use on the plane instead are my turtle neck brace, which I have gone back and forth about whether I like it. And I will say the last two overnight trips that I have taken over to Europe, I've used it and it's worked really, really well. So I'll use the turtle neck rest and my Imzu eye mask, which I know doesn't really go with the pillow, but I just wanted to give a shout out to it. Love my Imzu eye mask for travel. I love the puffiness here. I have another eye mask I use at home when I am sleeping in bed that doesn't have this raised area, because when you turn your head and you're sleeping on your side, this kind of gets in the way. So it's not the best for sleeping at home, but I like it for airplane travel because your head's pretty much not going to be moving much beyond this. You're not sleeping on your side, right? So this isn't going to interrupt you. Blacks out all of the light and really is super soft against your skin. It's just a favorite. I've talked about this one a lot and I still love it. So I'll use this and my turtleneck rest instead of the stuffable pillow. Some favorites among many other travel influencers are these silicone bottles and the silicone beauty blender holder thing. Well, this I just don't use. And I have a beauty blender and I just throw it into my toiletry bag. I'll throw it into my liquids bag with my other liquids and I don't separate it into something else. I think this makes it take up more space than it needs to and it's really unnecessary. It's a cute little thing. I mean, look at that little paw print on the bottom of it. I mean, that's adorable, but I've never used it. I've had it and it has, I think it went on one trip with me and I was like, I don't know, there's really no point to this. So that doesn't get used. And these silicone bottles are just so much bulkier and take up so much more space than these cute little lie flat and inexpensive. These are definitely less expensive than the refillable silicone bottles are, and they take up so much less space. They come with a cute little funnel, so they're easy to fill up. You fill it up, and then as you use it, it gets smaller and smaller. Whereas this doesn't shrink in size. Like this one's empty and it's still going to take up as much space as it did when it was full. So this just is a better option, I believe. And the other option that I use a lot are contact lens cases because they are small and they hold the right amount of liquids that I'm usually packing for, let's say, a week-long trip. I can usually get a lot in one of these. So these are definitely something that I use quite a bit over the silicone refillable things. And, beauty blender. Just, I guess you could use one of the Easter eggs, which happy Easter, by the way. That's this weekend. If you're watching when this video comes out, you could use one of those Easter eggs that you get at the dollar store to put your beauty blender in. But I just don't think it's necessary to have anything to separate it from all your other stuff. Now that might be a little controversial, but let me know in the comments below if you are a beauty blender needs its own case or just throw the beauty blender into your liquids bag in your toiletry kit. Let me know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it. Oh, I did want to point out that these little lay flat refillable bottle things do come in different sizes and they come with little labels and stickers that you can put on there so you'll know what's in there, whether it's shampoo or conditioner or not. Now, if you are someone who has been here from way, way, way back, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate having you here every week. You might remember that the pocket tripod was something I was all in on for quite a while, for at least a year. I know I said that this was things I purchased and I never used. I did actually use this quite a bit back in the day. That first year that I had it, I used it quite often. But I found something that was better and I stopped using this at all. In fact, I had to dig it out of a drawer. I wasn't even sure where it was. So this thing was good, but it's a little awkward to use, kind of temperamental about how you set it up. You have to change out these little rubber footing things here to get it the right size for your phone, or your phone in a case to be able to fit in there. And it didn't make it very easy to set up your phone to take pictures and videos. So I looked around, and last year, and again, this is something you've seen a lot of over the last year, I found this Moft magnetic tripod, and I use this thing so much. In fact, you can see it's starting to get a little worn on the edges there because I use it so much. It's just so convenient. It's so easy to pop it onto the back of the phone. It's easy to set up this way. It's easy to set up as a tripod. And you can get all the videos and pictures and anything you want by using this. It's so easy. So easy. Needless to say, this has gone away and it's been completely replaced by this Moft tripod. So if you're looking for something for taking really good pictures and videos when you are traveling so that you can be in them and you're not just always taking pictures of other people, I would highly, highly recommend the Moft. And I'll have both the case and the tripod linked below in the description and the first pinned comments. In fact, I will have all of these items, both the regret items and the items that I use instead, will all be linked below if you want to check any of them out. Because just because they don't work for me doesn't mean it might not be something that you've been looking for to use, and it will absolutely work well for you. So this next item, you can tell it's never even been out of the packaging. This is a large poncho that I purchased for our Ireland trip last summer because I wanted to make sure that I was covered in case we had torrential downpours while we were in Ireland, because you never know. It's a rainy country. Well, this thing, it's huge. I bought two. So I got one for my mom and I got one for me. And we actually opened the one that I left with my mom. It comes down to your ankles. It is absolutely humongous. And neither of us ended up using them at all in Ireland. Honestly, I took my packable rain jacket, which packs down smaller than this. It's close to the same size, but this actually gets a little bit smaller than this does. So I really only used my rain jacket. It was perfectly fine for any rain that we did have on the trip, which we had a little bit, but this was fine. I did not need an extra poncho. It just took up space and was unnecessary. So that is, yeah, just a bad, bad buy. This wasn't even anything that anybody influenced me to buy. I just decided I thought that I needed it. This next one is one I was definitely influenced by another travel influencer to purchase, and it is the Peeps eyeglass cleaner. Y'all, I don't know if it's just me and I can't figure out how to use it right, but I never feel like these actually get my glasses clean. Like I'll use it and I feel like it's just smearing the smudges around. And this is the actual like Peeps. This isn't the cheap version because I know you can get super inexpensive. This is like whatever, I think they're like 20 some odd dollars for the eyeglass cleaner. I have found that just using a small little microfiber cloth works just as well, if not actually better, for cleaning my sunglasses and my reading glasses and such, and my computer screens and my phone screens. Having one or two or even three little microfiber cloths along with you on your travels can really save you from ending up with blurry pictures or not being able to see out of your glasses, especially your sunglasses. I end up, you're doing that whole thing. Well, I guess my reading glasses too, up on top of your head, putting them on your eyes, up on top of your head over and over again. And they get really dirty really fast. This just has never worked for me. So I feel like the Peeps are kind of a waste of money, in my personal opinion. Let me know if you've tried the Peeps and you love them, because I would like to know if maybe I'm just using them wrong. I feel like they seem very self-explanatory and they shouldn't be something that I would mess up using, but you never know. I mean, I've done dumb stuff before, so it's a good possibility. Next up is something that I can't remember if I got influenced to buy these or if I just saw them and I wanted to try them out. Regardless, these are little rubber wheel covers for your wheels on your suitcase. And I put them on one of my suitcases and I used them for a couple of trips. And most of those trips, I was checking a bag. So it was going through the whole checked process. And a couple of these actually popped off of the wheels and I really felt like it impeded how the wheels worked. The wheels just didn't work very well. So these just are not necessary for any particular reason. And I think the idea was to keep your wheels clean. But if you're leaving the rubber things on the wheels, then they're getting dirty anyway. I also think that they were intended for if you are pulling your suitcase across rough roads or gravel or even cobblestones or something like that, that they would protect your wheels from getting nicked up. What I have done instead is I just have a really good suitcase. I have my Quince suitcases and they have just great wheels. They've got rubber already on the wheels so they are going to be able to handle whatever you are going to pull them across without needing the extra protection of these rubber covers. So I suggest looking for a suitcase that the wheels already have some sort of hard rubber casing around them and that they aren't just hard plastic. Like I think that is one of the key things to look for in a good suitcase. I love these Quint suitcases. They are such a great buy. And Quince has 365-day return policy. So if you try it and you just don't like it, you can always return it. Although I think you'd probably like it pretty well. In fact, I have my carry-on suitcase, I have a checked-in suitcase, and I have just recently purchased both my mom and my sister carry-on suitcases for themselves for our upcoming trip to Portugal together. So I absolutely love this suitcase. This next item is definitely something that I was influenced by another YouTube travel influencer to purchase, and it is this collapsible cup, which is super cute. And for camping, like if I were backpacking a lot and doing a lot of camping and such, or even a lot of road trips, this would be probably pretty useful. I got it for the intention of maybe taking dried soups to have on the airplane as a snack. And I just found that's not ever anything that I am going to eat as a snack on a plane. Like it just doesn't isn't going to be in my wheelhouse for that. I am definitely a kind bar, cheese, string cheese, crackers kind of girl when it comes to snacking on the plane. I like my salt. I want something salty, but I am not going to have a big open cup like this with hot soup in it because well, there's turbulence and just it's something that's I don't know, it's just not anything I'm going to ever do. So this has never gone on a trip with me, I don't think. Maybe one trip when I thought I was going to try it out, but other than that, it's never gone on a trip with me. So what I'd carry instead is just my water bottle. I love the Contigo water bottles. This is one that I've gotten recently that has kind of like a little wide mouth opening, so it's a little bit easier to drink out of. They seal up so nicely. They're double hulled stainless steel, so they keep everything cold. I guess if you wanted something hot, you could do hot beverages in here too. This one is a 20 ounce and I prefer the 20-ounce size. It's getting challenging to find the 20 ounce versus the 24-ounce stainless steel water bottles. But the 24-ounce just feels really big when I'm carrying it around in my personal item bag. Love always having my water bottle with me. I mean, let's be honest, it's probably my emotional support water bottle at this point. And finally, when I was digging through all of my travel gear, at the bottom, I found this little tiny travel makeup brush kit, which clearly I have not even used. I mean, it still got covers on some of the brushes. I think one of the things I found was that the handles are so short and tiny that it's really hard to maneuver with my hands. I don't know about you guys, But as I am getting older, my hand tends to get a little more cramped when I'm trying to hold something tiny like this really close and trying to use it in the mirror. So these just didn't work. Plus the bristles are super flimsy. You can see that they're not very, I mean, they're soft, but when I show you what I'm using instead, you'll understand these just, you can tell these aren't very nice, and the bristles kind of come out of the edges too if you use it too hard. Probably wasn't all that expensive to begin with, and I don't even remember how long ago I purchased this. It just was something I never used. So what I have gotten myself instead, and it was a splurge, is Angie Hot and Flashy's travel brush set by BK Beauty. And man, these, I have been so happy with these brushes. I have been using this when I traveled and at home, and these are just gorgeous. So the handles are shorter than a regular makeup brush handle, but they're not super short like the other set was. And they are easier to manipulate. The brush bristles are, I mean, it feels like cashmere. I mean, they just feel so soft and nice, and they hold on to the product. And I love the way that it helps me apply my makeup so much better. I just feel like I'm getting a more professional look by using these brushes. I mean, that could be all in my head, but who knows? I really love them. Like I said, it is a splurge. It's probably not for everybody, but it's what I am using instead of the little tiny. And yes, it is worth taking up the space with this container than this little container here. Because what I do is I will use this case and I put a lot of my dry makeup, like my eyeshadows, my eyeliners, my nail file, other things that will fit in here. I have lots of space to put extra things in here too. So it sort of becomes another toiletry kit case for me in addition to holding the brushes. So I feel like it's a win-win. And now that you know all of my travel gear purchase regrets, you should check out this video over here to see my new favorite travel gear for 2025. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video today. I hope you have safe and wonderful travels.